Yo, hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to Jimmy is Promo. First off, let's just make sure that we are up and live and running. I'm actually using the rear camera of the Galaxy S20 to get this one shot, so I can't really see what I look like. Hopefully, I am in frame. So let's just take a look at this here, and then let's talk a little bit about the Galaxy S20 FE. All right. Hey, looks like I'm in frame. Looks like we're good. So there we go. You guys can see that I'm watching it right over here. So this is how I'm going to keep up with your guys' chat. So then this way I'd be able to answer any questions that you guys have. So first off, we'll kind of talk a little bit about the Galaxy S20 FE. We'll talk about pretty much everything that they went over today. And then also my thoughts on the phone, and super glad and excited that we also got the price point at 100% correct. Actually, everything was 100% correct, but it's really easy when you actually have the phone itself. So first off, going over the colors, and then we'll go through a lot of the questions here that you guys are asking. So when it comes down to the colors, it looks like that there is going to be 6 colors. The one that I have here is that navy blue, or I should say the cloud navy. So if you guys saw the video where I showed off the leak of this, it actually looks really good. It feels good. They also mentioned that it's not too slippery. It has kind of like a feel to it, and I kind of know what they mean. Even going back to, like, let's say the Galaxy A50, when it comes down to this phone over here, this one, I mean, it feels like plastic. It looks like plastic. This also looks like plastic, but they kind of have that hazy color that's inside of there. But I mean, it feels good. It's not going to fall out of your hands. So it's definitely not as slippery as a glass or metal back. So a lot of people were like, how does it feel? I mean, I think it feels really good. Also too, when it comes down to the bezels, to be completely honest, I mean, I'm not really like a tech Karen. I'm not gonna be out here bashing this phone. I think it's fine. The reason why that there's bezels there is really because of 2 reasons. The screen is flat, and it also has a less strength Corning Gorilla Glass. So I don't know exactly which Corning Gorilla Glass is on there, but it's not going to be the latest, which means that it's not as strong as the Corning Gorilla Glass on the Galaxy S20s and the Note 20s. So that's why there's a little bit more bezel, just giving a little bit more protection. But it really doesn't bother me. I mean, I don't really. I mean, there's a little bit more bezel for the chin and the forehead, but where it actually matters is going to be on the sides where you actually swipe in and actually use the phone. It really doesn't give any bothersome or cumbersome issues. So the colors is the cloud mint, the cloud navy, which is what we have here. And then we also have the cloud lavender, cloud red, cloud orange, and then cloud white. So a lot of the stuff that they talked about, I'm just going to kind of restate everything if for somehow you missed it. But it does have a 6.5-inch Super AMOLED display. It has a 120 Hz refresh rate. You cannot change that. So when you actually go inside of the settings and then you go inside of the display, usually there's a point where you can kind of go through and change. Actually, you can. I just noticed on here going through the display, underneath the motion smoothness, you can actually go between the high and the standard if you want to, but you can't really change the resolution of the display. Usually there's a way inside of the display settings that if you wanted to change the resolution, you could. This one's actually set at the highest level that there is, and if you do want to save a little bit of battery, you are able to move that high motion over down into that 60 hertz. So I believe you guys can see that right there. And it looks like I'm on my wide angle lens here, which is actually kind of funny. The cameras is pretty much the same cameras as the Galaxy S20, which is what I'm using to shoot right now. So it has the 12 megapixel wide, 12 megapixel ultra wide, and then the 8 megapixel telephoto lens. You have the 30 times zoom. So that means that you have 3 times optical, and then it's able to digitally zoom in 10 times more. So once you go past 3 times, you're going to slowly degrade the quality of the image. So actually on the live stream, in the video, they showed off the 30 times space zoom and they zoomed in on someone's face. It was super clear. It was not that clear. It's Space zoom, if it's 100 time or 30 time, is always a little bit grainy, and that's because you're actually zooming in with what you've already physically zoomed in with after the optical, which again is only 3 times on this one. But the front-facing camera is really good. So it's a 32 megapixel front-facing camera. So let's say that I wanted to just shoot a photo. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move down over inside of live focus. So I'll take a photo with live focus and then with regular, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So this first one is going to be regular photo, front facing, and I'll show you what it looks like. So if you guys want to see what this looks like, there we go. So this is just regular photo. I mean, I think it looks pretty good. Now if we were to switch over, like let's say that we wanted to go inside of the live focus. So now with live focus, where it's going to blur the background. And there we go. That's what we look like with the live focus. So you're really going to get the exact same result with the Galaxy S20, the S20 Plus, or the S20 Ultra. You also get the same resolution or the look with like the Note 20, the Note 20 Ultra. So really, if you are, in love with the Galaxy S20 phones, maybe you didn't upgrade yet just because of the price, you're going to get the exact same camera array and quality with the FE. Now, the biggest thing when it comes down to this phone was the price, and the price is $699. So you're getting a full-fledged Galaxy S20 device that does have wireless charging. It has wireless power share. It has fast charging with 25 watts, and you're getting all of that for $699 instead of $1,000 or instead of $900. But here in the United States, when I look up the Galaxy S20, even for now, it's still $1,000 unless if you find some deal. But this one right here being $300 less and able to do everything the S20 can do except for a glass back. I mean, it's really a no-brainer when you go for this one here. But the price, again, is going to be $699. You can pre-order it today, and it becomes available on October 2nd. So October 2nd, which is only, 2 weeks from now, is going to be, pretty nice. Also, too, you have 2 options if you want to get the 6 gig or 8 gig of the RAM. So if you get the 6 gig RAM, you get 128 gigs of internal storage. If you get the 8 gig of RAM, you get 256 gigs of storage. And so I don't know what that price point there is. So it might be a difference of maybe $50 or $100. Hopefully it's only a change of $50. And then you will also get your expandable storage. So you have your micro SD card slot in here, along with the 1 terabyte of cloud storage that you can also get with Samsung. Now, a lot of people is also asking questions about the fingerprint. They didn't actually cover anything when it comes down to the fingerprint, but it's going to be the optical fingerprint, not the ultrasonic fingerprint reader. So it's not under the display, it's actually on the display. So it's actually pretty much the exact same when you look at OnePlus, or if you want to look at your Galaxy A50. So I have the fingerprint set up on the A50, but it's the same one on the Galaxy S20 FE. So it's going to be optical. It's going to illuminate a light. It's going to read your fingerprint and then unlock your phone. It's just as fast. It's just not as secure. So it's still going to be secure. It's still super fast. It's really accurate, but ultrasonic fingerprint readers are usually a little bit more secure if you guys are not familiar with that. Also, I had a lot of questions if it has stereo sound, and it does. So let's say that we just go up over on YouTube really quick. And I'll just play a quick video so you can hear my voice here. I'm talking, a little bit louder for you guys. Now, let's say that we watch a video, and we're just going to go to one of my videos. So this way we don't get copyright stricken. So you guys can hear that. Now, I believe that it sounds really good coming from the bottom speaker. And then your welcome back to Jamee's speaker grill on the top. Today is September 21st, and there is another Samsung software update for the month of September. So it'll come out of the headpiece wherever you take your phone call. So it comes from the headpiece in the speaker grill, just like any other Samsung phone. And so I think that we kind of covered everything. It also has the IP68 rating, so it's dustproof, water resistant, up to 30 minutes, up to 5 feet. And it has everything updated because it has Samsung One UI 2.5. So you have the updated, single take. So they mentioned you can record it for 15 seconds instead of 10 seconds, and it comes out with 14 images. You have like 4 videos and 4 different type of photos and the way that they're set up. So yeah, you're gonna get like 14 images when it comes out of that, and that's really it. That's everything written down here that was in my leak. That was also a part of the unpack today. Snapdragon 865 for the United States. That was the other thing. They did not talk about the fingerprint reader because I didn't want people to know that it was optical and not ultrasonic. And they also didn't talk about the chipset. So my guess is that because they stated it's the same chipset as the S20, that means that no matter where you are, if you have an S20 with Exynos, more than likely it's going to have that processor. But here in the United States, it's 865, just as a heads up. So we covered everything. The battery size, 4,500 milliamp battery. So when you compare it directly to the S20, this one here has a larger screen, larger battery, $300 less, and the same cameras, and it has everything else the same when it comes down to charging. So if you're getting an S20 or the Note 20, this one will literally take its place for much cheaper. Now, if you're looking at the Galaxy S20 Ultra or the Note 20 Ultra, this one does not. This one right here does not overtake both of those phones. Now let's head over into some of your questions, because I'm sure you guys are asking a lot. I try to cover everything as possible, but I'm just glad that the price is right, $700. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So someone said that there is no headphone jack. So yeah, correct. There is no headphone jack on the bottom or on the top. So if you watched that leaked video, I showed you that there is no headphone jack on the top and bottom. Which honestly, if it was an actual fan edition, I feel like everybody keeps asking for the headphone jack, even though I don't need it or ever use it. I feel a lot of people want it. So that's the one thing that is missing. I'm getting a question about Samsung DeX. So I'm going to head over inside. And I believe I saw DeX on the very top. So here you go. There's your DeX. So it will have wireless DeX. Now, the biggest thing, when a lot of people ask questions about, does it have DeX? Does it have this? Does it have that? Because this phone is running on Samsung One UI 2.5, it will have wireless DeX. And especially because it does have, the Samsung 865 chipset, and pretty much the same chipset as the S20, it would definitely have your wireless DeX. SD card slot. So during the presentation, it was pretty confusing. It sounded like they were like, hey, there's expandable storage, but it's with the 1 terabyte of cloud. But I read the very small fine print. I had to take a screenshot of the presentation, and there is a micro SD card slot in the phone. That's something that I didn't want to show off in the leak because I wanted to keep something still new when you guys watched the press release. But yeah, it does have expandable storage with micro SD card as well as the cloud storage. Dual SIM, that one I would not know just yet because we are in the United States. We don't use dual SIM. So if you had dual SIM on your S20s, wherever you guys are located in the world, then more than likely you'll also have dual SIM on this one as well too. Processor, already answered that one. So it's going to be the 865 because that allows for 5G. But again, when it comes down to other countries, I don't really know. When it comes down to the haptic feedback, so I'm getting questions about the haptic feedback. So if I go inside and I start typing, it's literally just like the Galaxy S20. So a lot of times when I take a look at haptics, I'm looking at either is it a high-end haptic feedback or is it this low-end, stronger, like loosened vibration, and that's with the lower end. So this one has a really good haptic feedback. Now, I also do know that somebody sent me a super chat. So VT Production PC, thank you so much for sending the super chat. 100% appreciate that. Thank you for the $5. And then it just says, thank you for all the Samsung content. You're welcome. Make sure you guys stay tuned. I'm going to have a lot more content coming up and a lot more leaks coming up soon as well too. Now, price comparing the Galaxy S20 Plus. So the S20 Plus, I can't remember how much that one is. So I think the S20 was $1,000. The S20 Plus was just $100 more. So this one is still going to be a lot cheaper than the S20 Plus. Again, it really depends on where you're at in the world, because some places is cheaper or more expensive than the other. Let's see here. So it looks like somebody else says that they want one. Thanks for clarifying. Oh yeah, Photo M asks, can you record 4K with ultra wide and telephoto lenses? Okay, so let's take a look at the camera and let's look at all of the lenses in here. I know that I did look at it from before. So when it comes down to the front video size, for front video size, you can record in 16 by 9 at ultra high def. So you'll have that 3840 by 2160 at 60 frames per second. So this right here is the rear. I hope you guys can see that. And then when you go inside of that Pro Video settings, inside of Pro Video settings, you're going to have those same settings for 16 by 9 as well as the 21 by 9. So I believe you guys can see that. I'm actually looking at the live stream right now, making sure you guys can see that. So for the 21 by 9, you can shoot at that Ultra HD, 60 frames per second, and 30 and 24. So pretty much the exact same stuff as the Galaxy S20s. Again, if you guys are asking questions about cameras, same as the S20s. Honestly, the only thing that you're really getting that's different is when you compare it to, let's say, just the S20, it's a little bit larger size of screen and a little bit larger of a battery. Everything is the same. You have wireless power share, you have wireless charging, you have 25-watt charging if you plug it in. You just happen to have a better selfie camera, which is 32 megapixels. So let's say that we go back inside of photo, and then I put it back inside of the front facing. When I tap on the top, let's see here. Let me switch it to the front facing 32. You can see there that the 3x4 is at 32 megapixel. I think you guys can see that. Let me hit it one more time. So it should say 32 megapixel right up on the corner. So then you guys can do it that way. Again, I showed that off in the leaked video. Let's see here. So someone else asked again, does it have good haptics? Yes, it does. S20 has full HD video with 100. Yeah, so I mean, it has full HD video with 120 frames per second, but you don't really need that. Does it zoom? Let's see, does it zoom audio? Okay, so does it zoom in on audio? That's a good question. Let's go to video. So if I go here, I don't know if it has the zoom in with audio. So let's go to settings. Advanced recording. So it has the HDR10 plus video. It has high efficiency video. It has the tracking autofocus. You have all the different shooting modes. Let's go back inside of Pro Video. Let me see if I can find if you can zoom in on audio there. Okay, Pro Video. Save. Okay, so with Pro Video, the one thing that you actually do have, which is really nice inside of here, because it is Samsung One UI 2.5, is that you will have literally everything. You will have your histogram, and you'll also be able to change where your audio sources come from. So if you want to record with the audio from in front of you, behind you, if you want it to be omni, yeah, so right now it's set up for omni. I could change the decibel levels. If you are connected to Bluetooth, you can also be picking up that audio from Bluetooth itself. So I don't see where you can like zoom in on audio. That's one thing that's missing from the back. And it's just because it's missing one of the other sensors. So on the back of the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, there's an additional sensor that allows you to record that audio and zoom in on it. What else do we got here? Does it have Exynos or Snapdragon? So here in the United States, it'll be Snapdragon. Because in the video, in the presentation, they stated that it'll have the same chipset as the S20. That was their way of not saying Snapdragon or Exynos. The way that when they said it's the same chipset as the S20, that just means that it's the same chipset of your S20 in your area. So United States will have Snapdragon 865. Other countries will have the same one that's inside of the Galaxy S20. Does it vibrate when playing music? That's another good question. Yeah, a lot of the cheaper phones, when you listen to music or something really loud, it kind of vibrates. So
September. Now you can see all three of these have already had their September up.
No. So even just by listening with my own voice here, it does not vibrate. And I know exactly what you're saying. There's a lot of phones that do vibrate, but because this one is a little bit heavier, it's not super, super, super light like some of the cheaper phones. It's not going to vibrate for you. Let's see here. Exynos Snapdragon. Is the 25-watt charger bundled in the box? So that one I don't really know yet. I don't get my phones in the regular consumer boxes. So I heard a rumor that this one does support that 25-watt charging, which is true, but inside the box it might have a 15-watt charger, again, just to kind of save with the cost. So if you have a 25-watt charger by Samsung at home, then you're still good to go. You still have a charger, but I believe that in the box it might be 15-watt. If I am wrong, then at least you'll be surprised to see the 25-watt, but I'm pretty sure it'll come with the 15-watt charging brick. For the charging speed, it is 25 watt for when you plug it in. So you're going to get still a pretty fast charge. With a 4,500 milliamp battery, it should take right around 80 to 90 minutes is usually how it always works with the 25 watts. Let's see. I'm still scrolling through some of these questions here. Let's see. I like your cable setup. What cable? Oh, over there in the corner. Sorry. So yeah, so that's very super disgusting over in the corner. There actually used to be my gaming desk. So my gaming desk used to sit over here, and I had another chair that was sitting over here. That was where I kind of held everything up. And so actually the wife is still working from home with COVID-19 being the what it is. So actually she has my gaming desk over in the other room. Usually it looks a little bit better in this room, but not for the last few months. Let's see here. Someone asked the question, the Galaxy S10 Plus or the S20 FE. I would probably say the Galaxy S20 FE. The only reason is because it is a full year newer. So you'll also have those additional updates for an additional year. So as Samsung has stated, all of their phones get an update for the past 3 generations. So if you already have an S10, you already went through a full year of updates. That means that you're not going to get an additional, extra year. So you might as well get the Galaxy S20 FE, as it's probably also going to be the exact same price. Can you show us the displays of the A50 and the S20 FE? So let's take a look at the displays. So here's your displays of the two. So this is the A50. A50 is this one right here. You can see it's different with the camera. And then you have the Galaxy S20 FE. And then on the backs, this is where you can really see that haze. So originally, this one's really shiny, fingerprinty. And then you got this one over here, which is the Cloud Navy. No fingerprints. And yeah, so that whole segment of them going over the whole haziness is actually pretty cool because it does look really good, especially in hand. Let's see, what else do we got here? Does it have wireless DeX? Yes, it does. So because this phone has the latest chipset, also because it is running on Samsung One UI 2.5, it will have wireless DeX. Wireless power share, yes, it does. How much wattage from the wireless power share? I don't really know the exact wattage, but to be completely honest, I don't use wireless power share to charge another phone. That's just too cumbersome, takes way too long, and it takes up too much of your own battery. So I always use the wireless power share for when it comes down to accessories, like any type of buds or the watch. So those are what it is. Why did Samsung make it a flat screen? That's because a lot of people wanted a flat display and not the waterfall effect. When you have a phone with a waterfall effect, some people think it's too fragile. Some people think that they get accidental finger touches. But I mean, I think it looks really good, and you're also going to not have as much of a bezel. So people wanted to see the bezel one more time. So here it is for the bottom. And here it is just kind of going along the rest of the device. I mean, it's really not that bad. I mean, if you really want to be, nitpicky, you can. If you want to be a tech Karen, go for it. But I think it looks good. It feels good. It operates. The bezels do not bother me. Now, if they had the same bezel as, like, let's say, like an iPad or if it had the same bezel as like my what is this thing? As my the Surface Duo. I mean, these things have bezels. Look at the top and the bottom. These, you are wasting so much screen. It's ridiculous. This one is not bad when it comes down to the bezels. It's just because it's a flat display. It has a weaker Corning Gorilla Glass on it, so there has to be a little bit more protection. And I feel like people would rather have their phone be structurally intact a little bit better and have just a little bit more bezel than having something that can break and crack super easy. Let's see what else. Someone else asked again, wireless DeX. Yes, it does. The fingerprint is optical or ultrasonic. The fingerprint is optical, not ultrasonic. Optical, so it's still going to be just as fast and accurate. It's just not going to be as secure. Wireless DeX, yes, it does. Corning Gorilla Glass 3 or 5. I don't know the exact one, so I don't want to state something incorrect. So I guess you can say my source wouldn't really tell me exactly anything. So no idea when it comes down to the Corning Gorilla Glass. I already showed the displays of the A50 and the S20 FE. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really trying to catch up with all these comments. So Netflix HDR certified. It should be because it's HDR 10 plus. So it should work. Yes. A lot of people are saying like Glastic. It doesn't really feel like Glastic because there's no glass. It's just a plastic phone. And more than likely, some people might be putting cases on this phone. So when you put a case on this phone, you're not going to see or feel the back. And also, too, with the case going over the front, that case is going to literally fit exactly where these bezels are. So it's not going to make it any worse, which is actually not that bad. I mean, when you think about it, you know, Samsung's like, hey, who cares if the bezels are a little bit longer? A case is going to go over it. And as a case goes over the front, it has to give protection, especially when it lays flat. So it's just going to cover the bezel. It's not going to cover any of the screen, which is really good. Does it have wireless DeX? Yes, it does. Does it have wireless DeX? Yes, it does. Fingerprint is optical, not ultrasonic. Okay, I'm going to scroll down a little bit more. There's a lot of questions. Thank you guys so much for all these questions. Yeah, the plastic is not going to crack like glass. So when you do drop your phone, it's not going to break on the back. Let's see. A lot of people said that I responded. Since it doesn't have the headphone jack or their headphones adapter. So I really don't know what's going to go in the box. But if you have any other Samsung phone that you've purchased, let's see. If you have any other Samsung phones that you've purchased, you will have your Type-C on the bottom. So if it comes with a headset or some earbuds, it's going to have Type-C. And again, when it plugs in through the Type-C, like I'm not the biggest audiophile, but it should have the exact same sound as if it was to come through a 3.5 headphone jack, because with it being plugged in, I guess you guys can, correct me if I'm wrong, but because it's still plugged in, you're still getting that awesome digital audio output through the buds. So my guess is that hopefully within the box, we will be able to see the Type-C bottom. And if it doesn't have a Type-C bottom, there is so many adapters you can just go off and purchase. All of these are Type-C on the bottom with 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. So if you need to have something plugged in, you can still plug it in and get all of that sound that you need. So there is a bunch of these dongles or adapters. The one that I've purchased, actually I got one from Samsung. But then there's another brand that I purchased off Amazon that you guys could also use if you need to plug in your 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. So that one's from Samsung. And back when they were on back order, I purchased another third-party brand off of Amazon, and they were probably like, I think they were like $8 to get the adapter. Wireless charging power, how much watt it supports. So I see that you asked that multiple times, for which I tried to answer that one a little bit ago, and I don't know how much the watt is. So when you are a leaker, you're not really given details. And so I don't know what the support is. But it's going to be the same as the Galaxy S20. And I only use wireless power share when it comes down to charging accessories. For wireless charging, I believe it's probably just going to be 10 or 15 watts when it comes down to wireless charging. The question is the Galaxy S20 Plus or the S20 FE heavier? So I don't have a Galaxy S20 Plus. That's the only phone I don't have in possession. I have the S20 and the S20 Ultra, but no S20 Plus. And because the S20 Plus is slightly larger, it's a 6.7-inch display instead of a 6.5, I'm going to guess. And also because it has a glass back, my guess is that or Glastic back, I believe that the S20 Plus will be a little bit heavier. That would be my question. Let's see here. What's the processor? Well, the processor depends on where you live. So when it comes down to the United States, it's going to be the Snapdragon 865. How big is it compared to the S20 Ultra? Good question. So let's look at this. Let me take out the case. So here is the Galaxy S20 Ultra is way heavier. So here's the price. Here, let me get rid of some of these notifications really quick. Here we go. So here is the size difference. I believe you guys can see that. Let's see, I got some more notifications here. So on the back of the phone, if we're to do a comparison here, putting them right there, you can see just how much bigger the Galaxy S20 Ultra is. And it's also quite a bit heavier as well. A lot more fingerprints as well too. I kind of like this camera array better than this camera array. Also, the Galaxy S20 Ultra, where they really went wrong is the weight distribution. It is so bad that it feels so heavy and so big, and it's all rounded. Not a big fan of that one. Also, if you guys are curious, so this one is Samsung One UI 3.0. I have had questions asking like, what's going on with your settings? Why does it look different? That's just because this one is the One UI 3.0. This is the beta version, so I'm running Android 11 on that one. So if you guys have not already watched, I have a video from just a few days ago talking about everything new with the Galaxy, with the Samsung One UI 3.0, Android 11. And my guess is that the Galaxy S20 FE will get this update as well. So pretty much the majority of all the phones from the last 2 years will easily get the One UI 3.0 update, but the updates shouldn't start being pushed out publicly until November. What else do we got here? Wow, that is a lot of questions here. Let's see here. Hello, Jimmy, sir. Can you gift me the phone because I can't afford it? I'm sorry, I can't do that. Sometimes when you get these phones, you gotta bring them back. And anytime that I purchase phones personally, I always use those phones as upgrades or trade-ins. And I get asked if I can have a phone or if I can give a phone pretty much every single day. So I'm sorry, I can't do that. It does not have a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, and I don't know why. So that was one of the things that's missing. Is One UI 3.0 smoother than 2.5? And it is. The One UI 3.0 is super smooth. When it comes down to the animations going from screen to screen, going from an application to the home screen, just the way everything is set up, even the battery usage menu is different. The phone app is completely different. The settings for all the power modes are actually all individualized. So when you go inside of your power mode, you have 4 options between high performance, optimize, medium power saving, and then the ultra power saving mode. So this one is actually separating all 3 of them inside of the quick settings on the top. So you're only one button away from getting to the mode that you're looking for. And let's see, show the volume rocker on the 1H. So I'm thinking maybe show the volume rocker. I mean, the volume rocker is going to be the same on the Galaxy S20 FE. When it comes down to the updated volume, if you see in the corner that it looks different, and then you would basically open this one up on the top when you hit those 3 dots, and then you're able to change volume through those through the logo there. Let's see. See if you guys can even see that. Yeah, so the volume rocker is completely different on 3.0 as well. Is the Galaxy S20 FE display as good as the S20? I feel like the S20 is just a little bit better. The S20 is a little bit smaller display, so the DPI is a little bit larger. So the pixels per square inch is a little bit better on the S20, but looking at the S20 FE, I mean, it looks great. And it has the 120 hertz refresh rate or 60, and you're just not able to change the resolution. But it is a full HD plus, so it's not WQHD, but you will be getting that full HD plus, which is actually really good. Let's see. Someone, Arthur Strout has the Galaxy Note 10 regular. Should I update or upgrade? That's really up to you. If you use your Note with the S Pen, then you can just wait for, you can go for the Galaxy Note 20. But if you feel like you don't use the S Pen, and if you're looking for a phone that is also really good, you can look at the Galaxy S20 FE. It just really depends on if you use your S Pen or not. Some people do miss it. I do have to say that with the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra and the Note 20 series, because the S Pen switched to the left-hand side, I've found myself using it way less. It's on the complete opposite end of the phone, and I know it's only just a couple inches away, but just by that small move, I'm not really using the S Pen as much as what it was on the right-hand side. Would you recommend? Ooh, okay. So this is something I wanted to cover at the very beginning of the video, and the question was, would you recommend the Galaxy S20 FE over the OnePlus 8T? And really, honestly, this phone, because of the price and because of everything it gives, and then also with that optical fingerprint reader, the camera, this is a direct competitor of the Pixel 5, as well as the newer iPhone 12 that should be coming out. That's cheaper, and also a direct competitor of the OnePlus 8T. Now, the only thing I'm going to mention here is all of them are going to be super comparable. It only depends on the user interface you want to use. So if you like vanilla Android, then go for the Pixel 5. If you like the OnePlus user interface, you can use OnePlus's user interface. It's very similar to vanilla Android. Or if you like the One UI. Now, I'm more of a user and lover of the Samsung One UI, user interface. I feel like for me, it just offers so much. Now, I've been using the Microsoft Duo for, however long it's been out. So 2-3 weeks now. And this one is the vanilla, stock Android thing here. And I'm just not really a big fan of it, the way that it operates, the way that your pictures are saved, the way that you have to edit photos, open the photos, share the photos. Really everything about the user interface of OnePlus as well as stock Android, I'm just not a big fan of, because you have your edge panel on these phones, and you can swipe down anywhere on the screen to pull up your quick settings. On this phone over here with Android, if you get the Pixel 5, which I think they fixed that and they updated it, that you're able to swipe anywhere on the screen and pull down the notifications. So as long as that's fixed, then the Pixel 5 is going to be much better. So honestly, the Galaxy S20 FE is a direct competitor of the OnePlus 8T, the Pixel 5, and the new iPhone 12 that's coming out. That's going to be pretty cheap. It really just kind of depends on what user interface you would like to have. And honestly, that is the most honest thing I can ever say without being biased, because every phone that we've mentioned has good cameras. They have good camera array. They can all surf the internet. They all have Facebook. They'll have Twitter. They all have everything that we use and need. Samsung does have the Samsung ecosystem. They have a lot of stuff going on with Microsoft, with all of the Office things, with the Xbox Live and the Game Pass. So I guess if you are a gamer, then I would definitely look at the Samsung phones over the 8T Plus or the 8T, the Pixel 5, all of those, because none of those phones have Microsoft Game Pass, and this one does. Now, they're all going to have pretty similar, screen sizes, possibly. They're all going to, I don't know how big those batteries are going to be on the other phones, but this one's a 4,500 milliamp battery. So I'm going to bring it all the way down to, if you're a gamer and if you like the Samsung One UI, stay with the Samsung phones. Those other competitors out there, the OnePlus, the Pixel, and the iPhone doesn't have as big as an ecosystem as Samsung does. Apple has an ecosystem for like entertainment of just music and connecting to an iPad, things like that. But when it comes down to connecting to everything in your house, it's not going to be as great as the Samsung. So hopefully that kind of answered all of that there. Someone asked the question about price. So the price of the Galaxy S20 FE is $699, so $300 cheaper than the Galaxy S20. Is there a 8 gigabyte variant? So there is a 6 gigabyte RAM and an 8 gigabyte of RAM variant. So you can either choose 6 gig of RAM with 128 gigs of internal storage, or the 8 gig of RAM with 256 gigs of internal storage. So yeah, there's two options there. What else? Let's see here. Can you tell us about the hand feel? So yeah, in the hand, the feel is really good. It's not slippery. It's not sticky. It really doesn't feel like plastic, to be completely honest. If I was to grab out the Galaxy S20 Ultra here, this one, it feels heavy. It's slippery. It also has a lot of fingerprints. There's a lot going on. I don't really want to drop this phone. I feel like if I drop it, I'll break it. When it comes down to the Galaxy S20 FE, it's less of, it's not slippery. Yeah, so it's not slippery. It just has a good feel to it. It honestly doesn't really feel like plastic. It just feels like a back of a phone. So I don't know if it's just my fingers or something, but it just feels like a phone. And I feel like if I drop this, it's not going to break as easy as the Galaxy S20 Ultra, because the S20 Ultra is glass everywhere. It also has the infinity display. It has the waterfall effect going over the edges. Actually, it's kind of glasstic on the back, but I still feel, especially even with that camera array on the back, I feel like this phone would break when it drops. But I feel more confident with the S20 FE. So I hope that kind of answers all of that with the feel of the device. So yeah, I think it feels really good. And again, the color is just awesome. The OnePlus 8 Pro. Yeah, so I don't really know much about the 8 Pro. I mean, 8T, 8 Pro, that all kind of sounds the same to me. I'm more of a Samsung user. Let's see, what else do we got? Camera sensors so the camera sensors is the IMX 555, and it's the Sony IMX 555 on the back, but the front is higher. I can't remember what I saw it as, but it was like the Sony IMX 600 something. It's like 620, 630, 615. But yeah, so the rear cameras are the Sony IMX 555. The front is, I'm going to say, Sony IMX 6XX, because I don't really know what the last two numbers are, but it's over 500. Is Samsung One UI 3.0 smoother than 2.5? Yes, it is. I'm just going to keep on scrolling down here. Scroll. There's a lot. Okay, I think I'm catching up. Okay, I'm going to go to the very bottom here. Let's see. Can you give the information about security patch on Samsung One UI update? I have the Galaxy S10 Snapdragon security patch April and 2.1. No updates. So sometimes what you can do for an update is if you go inside of the clear cache partition. So if you have a phone that's not getting updates, I was trying to shoot a video about this. So basically, if you clear the cache partition, it kind of clears all that junk that's sitting in your phone between different updates. So clear that out. Then on your laptop, download Samsung Smart Switch program. So download the Samsung Smart Switch onto your computer, plug your Samsung in, and see if it would push the update to your phone. Sometimes that will happen. The very last resort would be for anybody who feels comfortable using Odin. It's a program that you can download. It's how you can flash phones. But if you can download Odin on your computer and find the software of your phone, then you're able to flash your phone with the newest software, and it actually gives you the last update. That's just one thing I don't really want to show in a video because I don't want to be liable for any issues that could happen. But yeah, you can look into flashing your phone using Odin. Just do a Google search. You'll be able to find it. Let's see here. Do I know about the Galaxy F41? As of right now, I do not. Is there going to be a Galaxy Note 20 Lite? That I have no idea. If they wanted to make the Galaxy S20 Lite or the Galaxy Note 20 FE, that's what they should have done originally with the Note 20, because the Note 20 was a big downgrade from the Note 20 Ultra. So I really don't know that. Thumbnail caption, Jimmy the leg. Actually, how I got that leg in there is because I am shooting with the rear of my Galaxy S20 right now. So usually I sit here and then I hit take thumbnail, and it takes 3 seconds. So I have 3 seconds to run around my table and sit down. My leg just happened to come up and I just kept it because I don't really care. Let's see, still looking for a few more here. The price of the Galaxy FE 8 gig RAM, 256 gigabyte ROM, my guess will be the 750 or 800 because if the normal Galaxy S20 FE is 700, you just have to add 50 or 100 to it for that step up. My hope is that it'll be 750, but I don't know. It could be 800 instead of 700. All right, so I'm going to scroll down to a few more questions on the bottom here. Will guaranteed 3-year software? Yes, it does. Any of the latest and newest Samsung Galaxy phones will get 3 years of updates. That's also why anytime anybody ever asks a question if I should get a phone from this year or last year, I always say this year, because then this way you'll always have that 3-year guarantee. Sumin Kumar, oh Jimmy sir, you read my comments. It is a gift. You're welcome. How good are the stereo speakers? I've actually played that earlier in the video. They're actually really good, so it is pretty loud. Is it available for pre-order? Yes, it is. The Galaxy S20 FE is available now for pre-order and available starting on October 2nd. So that's where you can find it on Samsung.com if you want to buy it outright at that moment in time. But right now is pre-order, which means that if you pre-order it now, then you should be able to get it October 2nd. What else here? What is the thickness of the Galaxy S20 FE? So here's the thickness. And actually my S20 is there. Here is the Galaxy A50. So it's gonna be a little bit thicker. It's a little thick daddy when it comes down to the phone here. But it feels good. If it was too thin, it just wouldn't feel like a quality phone. So I feel like it feels good. Someone asked the question, should I wait for the Galaxy S20 or S21 or buy one now? Again, it's really up to you. If you wanted to have a phone that's $700 right now, coming out on October 2nd, you can get the Galaxy S20 FE, unless if you want to wait for whatever Samsung does with the Galaxy S21. Let's see here. So I feel like the Galaxy S21 or the S22, one of those two phones is going to have a major shift, a major change in design. It's usually every 3 years when it comes down to Samsung, maybe 4 years. So I would say if you want a brand new design, you can maybe wait for the S21. Nice stream, keep going. I really want to. I'm probably gonna have to get off here pretty soon. So just as a heads up, I will be getting off here pretty soon. Getting a question between the Galaxy Note 10 Plus or the S20 FE. When it comes down to the Note 10 Plus, that's a pretty solid device. I'd have to say that right off the gate. It depends on if you use the S Pen. So if you use the S Pen a lot, then you might as well just keep the Galaxy Note 10, or you can upgrade to the Note 20. And if you don't really use it that much and you're looking for a phone that can do all of the good stuff for a little bit cheaper, then you can look at the S20 FE. And it also has the newer Snapdragon processor in the S20 FE versus the Note 10 Plus. You've been asking that question a lot here, so I think I got you there. Okay. What are the main differences between the Galaxy S20 FE and the S20 Plus? Honestly, the only differences is going to be the size, because they have the same battery, actually. I believe they're both 4,500 milliamp hour batteries. The size of the Galaxy S20 Plus has a little bit larger screen size, so you're going to be a 6.7 instead of a 6.5 inch display. You're going to have a little bit better resolution of a display as well, and probably a little bit better camera array on the back. But the front-facing camera on the SE is really good because it sounds like a lot of people wanted a better selfie camera, and that's really what they put in here. So really Samsung was like, hey, let's put in a 32 megapixel selfie. Let's put in a 4,500 milliamp hour battery. Let's put in IP68, all of the wireless charging standards, certifications, and let's just make this thing $700. And that's really all that they did. So I would say it's a really close call between the S20 Plus and the S20 FE, but the S20 Plus will be able to do just a little bit more. It just depends if you want to spend a little bit more for that. When will the S21 come out? Just your opinion. So my opinion on the S21 is going to be the year of 2021, and it'll be probably press released in March, maybe early March, and then released at the end of March, something like that. But that's just a guess. So usually March, April is the good months. Sometimes they might press release at the end of February, bring it out in March. But my guess will be a March release of 2021. No headphone jack on the FE. What about the OnePlus 8T? So I don't know the difference between 8T or the 8 Pro from OnePlus, but as I said from before, it just depends on which of the user interfaces you would like to use. And Samsung does have a better ecosystem than OnePlus. Samsung also has, I believe, a little bit better of a battery life, as well as all of the Microsoft suite and Microsoft Game Pass. So I believe that they definitely beat out OnePlus from this one on this year. Okay, so I'm going to scroll through a lot. Another person asked the question, Abu Fahid or Fahad, ultrasonic or optical fingerprint reader. So this one is a optical fingerprint reader, so it's going to be just as quick and accurate. It just won't be as secure. Where do I get my mobile phones early? Can't say that. Let's just say Samsung and I have a long-standing relationship. Let's see here. Processor in India. I don't know what the processor would be, but they did state that it's going to have the same processor as the S20. So wherever you live, whatever processor is in your S20 is what is going to be in this one. Okay, I'm still looking at all the questions. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out if anything that's new that maybe I haven't answered just yet. The camera is really good. Esports highlights. Thank you so much for the super chat. I love the Note series, but here in India, so what are your opinion about Exynos 1000 versus the Snapdragon 875 so that we can wait? So a lot of the stuff that I've heard with the Exynos 1000 is that it is super quick. It is way faster than Snapdragon. I think it's faster definitely than the 865 and maybe even the 875. So from all of the early reports and all of the early testing, Exynos 1000 is going to be a beast. So hopefully that answers the question for you. If you got a Samsung phone coming out with Exynos 1000, which will probably be next year, then you're going to have a beast of a phone. And I do remember about 3 or 4 years ago, maybe it was 5 years ago. 5 years ago, Exynos was way better than Snapdragon at that moment. And then Snapdragon just kind of came ahead and kind of took the reins on that one. So again, thank you so much for the super chat on that one. And yeah, Samsung ecosystem is much better than OnePlus. And yeah, I think that's pretty much about it. Some people is asking questions about Samsung takes so long with updates. When it comes down to an update, if you have a carrier phone, Samsung sends the update to the carrier. The carrier usually always asks for more changes, and then Samsung has to remake those changes, resend it back, and then the carrier would launch it over the air. So if you have a carrier device, your updates might take a little bit longer than unlocked. So my phones are unlocked, and they get updates really quick, usually within the same day of the first of the month, or maybe 3 or 4 days into the month, it always gets an update. For some reason, the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra got 2 updates this month in September, and it increased security of the phone. It increased or improved the clipboard as well as the camera and the fingerprint reader. Let's see. I think that's going to be pretty much all of the questions and all the time that I have for you guys. I don't even know how long I've been doing this live stream for. Yeah, I have no idea how long this live stream has gone, but the wife is getting back to work, and so that means that it's my time to watch the little 7-month-old baby here. So I hope I answered everything I could. I believe I answered everything plus more. I answered everything multiple times. Tried to help everybody who is watching the stream. My final thoughts on the Galaxy S20 FE is that it is such a nice phone. If you're looking for an update, if you're looking for a new phone, if you have an older phone that's 1 year, 2 year, 3 years old, oh gosh. Actually, I think the little dude's coming in if you guys want to see him. Give me. This is Elliot. So this is the little dude that I'll be moving over to watch. So, okay, here you go. Go back to mommy. He's so heavy. Okay, so final thoughts. If you have a phone that's 1, 2, 3 years old, you're looking for an update or an upgrade, definitely go for the Galaxy S20 FE. I mean, it has all of the camera array of the S20. It's at a really good price point of $700. It has every single certification of wireless charging, between wireless charging itself, fast charging plugged in, as well as the wireless power share. It has IP68, has a large screen at 6.5 inch. It's a Super AMOLED, 120 hertz refresh rate. You have a 32 megapixel selfie camera. It has single take. It has stereo sound, 4,500 milliamp hour battery, all of that good stuff. And it has like this hazy color. It's actually really nice. I am a fanboy. Yes, I am. I do like Samsung. I always push their phones. So you're going to take it from that point of view of me liking Samsung. I just see that there is a need for this phone, because if I didn't do YouTube and I didn't keep on getting all of these phones and keep on purchasing them, trading them in for new phones, things like that, then this is going to be something that would allure me to purchase this phone, because it's $700 and it does everything the S20 can do, and it has a large battery and a large screen. But that's going to be pretty much it here for the live stream. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Hope you guys have liked it. If you guys are watching this live stream right now and you are not subscribed to the channel, please hit on subscribe. I'll make sure I keep on posting videos on the FE. I'll post videos on the Galaxy One UI 3.0. I'll post videos on any other leak that needs to be happening here in the near future. And just all, continuing all of the trainings and showing off the hidden features and tips and tricks on the Samsung phones. But again, hit on that subscribe button, hit on the like button if you guys approved of this video, you guys like this video. Right now we have 783 people watching. Earlier we had about 820. So super excited and thankful for all the support from you guys. So stay tuned. I have a lot more videos coming for you guys. And I tried to answer everything I could in this video. If there's anything that you missed, or if you're just joining, this live video should be public here pretty soon, that you can just rewatch it and take a look at everything. But other than that, guys, I will see you guys later, and have a good day.